I started making these tapes because I wanted people's stories and I hoped that they'd matter someday.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is James, and in this video I'll be talking about the webisodes or miniseries, the Althea Tapes. So I've pretty much reviewed all the webisodes already in the past several years ago, so I'm redoing all those videos. You can check them out. I'll leave a link down in the description below. But there's several of them, starting with Torn Apart, Went to Cold Storage, The Oath, Flight 462, Passage, Red Machete, which was really good, and then now this one, the Althea Tapes, and there's 6 of them. So of course afterwards is Dead in the Water. I did that review as well, but I'll be looking at that one again and putting a little refresh on that in a new video. The Althea Tapes came out in 2019. It's a part of Fear the Walking Dead, of course, just like the next one, Dead in the Water. This one had 6 parts. The first one here, Al, was Althea herself as far as videoing herself. And then the second one's Ed. The third one's Earl and CJ. The fourth one's Clark. The fifth one's Jody. And the sixth one is Samura. And back in the day when I was doing videos, I did a video on a couple of these. I don't think I actually covered them all. I wasn't enjoying Fear the Walking Dead as much at the time or something, and this is actually would be more considered a new video. This is all of them together. I'll be reviewing all of the parts. There'll be a link to them, of course. They're on YouTube. Links down in the description below. So the first one is Al, and she's pretty much saying that, hey, I wanted to do this. I want to video people's stories and stuff so that people will have them for later to look back on and see what we went through and struggles and what we lost, but also how we rebuilt. And she said she does have hope that society can rebuild and stuff like that. So it's very short, but some of these are actually kind of long. We move on to Ed, and it's just, you know, these are people she meets along the way and stuff, and she trades noodles or she gives a ride or both, whatever it is, you know, she'll trade stuff for their story. The Althea Tapes.
Start with your name.
Ed?
Where are you from, Ed?
Oregon.
But we get to the one with Ed, and it's a little over 8 minutes. So some of these are a little lengthy as far as that goes, as far as you'd think a webisode. And Ed is a comedian, was a comedian.
I was touring.
In a band?
Yeah, I wish. I did stand up.
So Ed was in Denver chasing his dream of doing stand-up, his family in Oregon, so he's trying to get back there. And he seems like he's not maybe that type of person that would survive very long in the zombie apocalypse. So whatever ride that Althea gave him, you know, I don't know if he ever made it to Oregon is all I'm saying, I guess. He doesn't seem like the type that, unless somebody helps him, like a Eugene, you know, didn't seem like a smart scientist guy, but just someone who would need someone else to help him get through this world, at least in the beginning, you know, long enough for maybe him to, you know, train with some weapons, you know, or find a community that he can stay behind some walls or something like that. But Al keeps talking to him and makes him laugh, even though he doesn't make her laugh when he tells her a joke. And he's just talking about how he sucked and he realized it and, you know, that kind of stuff. And a lot of that, but Al kind of builds him up and ends up giving him a ride. Makes him laugh and gives him a ride, I think, and some noodles.
Did you two meet?
It's a hurricane.
So I'm hiding in the back of a big spot, praying to Jesus the roof don't come off.
Next up, we have Earl and CJ. Just a couple people trying to survive and found each other, helping each other, and decent little story.
And who comes limping in but old Earl here?
So CJ's talking about she had a pretty rough childhood. She's been on her own since 16. And even before the outbreak, she was at like a homeless tent camp type setup. And she had a pearl necklace is all she had, maybe a photo of her mom. And she buried it in a cigar box somewhere. So then Earl tells the story of being, I think, in Vietnam. He was a tunnel rat, as they called him, and went into the tunnels to look for the Viet Cong. And he was telling that story. So, and all the stuff they've been through, they said they've seen a lot of bad, terrible things. They've done a lot of bad, terrible things. They've both crossed lines they said they would never cross. And by the end, Earl says, let's go look for that cigar box and, keep the journey going, because finding each other and having each other look after each other is what they said they even wake up in the mornings because of, to get through the world. Decent little story, Earl and CJ.
Buddy, he was a prepper. God, we used to laugh at him.
So in the next one, we got Clark. He's a guy that said he was a Boy Scout leader for his boys. And so they have some survivalness about them.
Hope he made it just so he could say, I told you so, because he did.
So they seem to be making it pretty good up in the mountains wherever they are and killing deer and things like that. So they seem to be doing okay. And he's come down, I guess, into town where Al ran across him and started videoing, asking him questions. And he said he came to the library. That was the reason he risked his life, to come down from the mountain. And so, but he also said he was a bank manager, like a savings and loan type place with a vault. And he said he checked on that as well, because he said he locked up before he left when everything was kind of going to crap, I guess. And he said, yeah, the windows were smashed and the cash and stuff were taken, but the vault solid as a rock, just like he left it. So Al asked for the combination, because this dude pretty much is the only one. He said there was another lady that knew the combination, but he doesn't know if she's even alive or not. And Al said, well, you could die, any day now, just trying to get back up the mountain or on any of these trips down here. You should give the combination to me and I will put these tapes in there. So that it made it an interesting little webisode as far as what he was saying about, I'm not going to give you the combination because people's history are in those safe deposit boxes, like someone's grandpa's watch from the war or something like that. And she's like, but this is history too, what I'm doing, recording all of you guys and telling your story about survival and even in some cases rebuilding. So in that aspect, it's a cool little webisode. He does by the end give her the combination. And so, in that whole context of him wanting to preserve history and then her saying, well, that's what I want to do. And they agree at the end. It's pretty cool. And the vault did play a part in the show. It did actually appear in the main series. But as far as this guy, he just kind of did a little thing, like in case he died, talked a little thing, monologue into the camera, and gave her the combination. So, overall, I didn't like these as much when they first came out because I was watching the main show and I wasn't happy with the main show, and especially this character as far as, okay, she's coming in and videotaping people. That just seemed weird. It was kind of weird to me at the time, I guess. But if you do watch these webisodes, especially now, later, I guess, individually, they are cool little stories, most of them. So one thing that happened when they released the Clark webisode is that there was a glitch, as all the beginnings and endings with the Althea tapes. That's like a thing, and it glitches sometimes in between and all this kind of stuff. There's no tape anymore, but back then, back in the old days, kids, we had what's called a camcorder or a video recorder. You put an actual cassette tape in with a tape and it records to the tape. Digital can have glitches too, but anyway, in one of those glitches in the Clark video, I didn't really see anything in any other video, but if you guys hear about anything, definitely let me know. But in one of the glitches, about around the 2-minute so mark in the Clark video, there's this glitch right here. And people said it was Abraham because in the main show, Fear the Walking Dead, it showed a box of tapes that Al had. And one of those tapes said Abe Doctor. It was even on The Talking Dead. They showed it. So everybody, all the fans were thinking, hey, we're going to get an Abe Doctor, Abraham story in Fear the Walking Dead, but we never did. We never got that with Tales of the Walking Dead. It was just never addressed directly as far as in an episode or shown to us. It was mentioned here and there, hinted at with Daniel, even in Fear the Walking Dead. But it was just Easter eggs to keep the fans wishing something would happen, a crossover or something, I guess. But anyway, is this glitch Abraham? And it actually looks like there's a clapper frame, part of it in the frame in this one, you know, and if maybe they ever showed us the Abe tape, there would be something like that. But this is around the 2-minute mark in the Clark video. And if you realize how tape works, unlike digital, really, but if you have already recorded some tape and there's a glitch at the 2-minute mark and it's showing a piece of Abraham or something, she's recording over Abraham and you can't get that back. So did she record over Abraham? And, you know, is this even that? Why is there a weird frame glitching? Usually if you watch all of the glitches, it'll be of the same, whatever she's recording. It's just glitching during the recording or something, playback. But this is glitching to kind of show maybe there was something on the tape she's recording over. Could it be Abraham? Maybe. Is that what they were trying to do? Maybe. It just never came to anything and we don't know for sure. And if it is, she may be recording over the Abraham stuff. So, you know, who knows? We never did find out anything about it.
I was a trauma surgeon at St. Joseph's back when it first broke out, before we knew anything.
Next up, we have Jody. And Jody was a doctor, a surgeon.
In the ER. You know, a lot of doctors, a lot of good friends died.
Jody's story is pretty much about her husband and how he protected her, knowing she was one of the only doctors left in the world, one of the only people who knew how to do what she does left in the world. And so he was highly protective of her. And in his final heroic thing that he did, that he ended up dying, actually got her bitten on the arm. And it was actually her husband that did it, reanimated, and she had to amputate to save her life. So now she just has her left hand and she's trying to relearn how to really do a lot of things, I'm sure, but she actually is trying to relearn how to use her hand, maybe even to do some surgery and stuff. So she told the story to Al, and it was a sad story, but she didn't say that it was her husband that was the one that bit her. And Al, of course, pried it out of her, and she's like, I didn't want that to be how the story went.
The 59th dead person that I killed was my little sister.
And lastly, we have Samura. And Samura actually joined Morgan's group. We never see it in the show, but it said in the webisode, Samura saw the plane. That was in the Fear the Walking Dead show. They put a plane together and flew it over a mountain or something. But anyway, Samura saw this and followed it, like went to wherever it was or whatever, and found Al and Morgan and his group and joined it, supposedly. And she's, you know how they were doing good things, spreading supplies and doing that whole thing in Fear the Walking Dead. She became part of that and found joy in it and stuff. She has OCD, counting. She has to count everything. And she had a little sister, but she died, and it was because of her hesitation and her OCD. She has a thing where she really needs to exit a building the way she entered. And at one point when walkers attacked, that confusion caused her to hesitate long enough for her sister to get bit. So she realizes all of that. She realizes that she has the mental condition and everything, but just a little different as far as seeing someone with a condition being interviewed and acknowledging it. But that was Althea's tapes. She went around and she videoed a lot of people, interviewed a lot of people. If you count all the people in the actual show, the series that she did as well. Madison Clark, I mean, pretty much everybody. Alicia, she talked to everybody. And so that was a huge thing in the show, and kind of too much, I guess. I understand it was telling a narrative, a story of, and the little things that we got from her interviewing, pulling that information out of people, whether it be Morgan or people like this in the webisodes and stuff. And some of the stories are pretty cool, but I guess I thought that was just too much of it, being it's an apocalypse. And carrying around the equipment, but she had the vehicle, you know, that was pretty cool, the armored vehicle. But all in all, you know, if you can step back from Fear the Walking Dead as far as the writing and everything, how I thought the showrunners didn't do very well from season 4 to season 8, if you can step back from that, some of these little stories, yeah, the early apocalypse, that's the kind of stuff we like. We like to hear, we like to see, and all that kind of jazz. So a part of me doesn't like it because of the reasons I said, but again, because it's early days story stuff, you know, that part of me likes it. You got to let me know what you think about it, of course. The links to all of these are down in the description. Hopefully you can watch them, then watch this video, and let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, and you know I'll join you there. This is James, and as always, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more dead stuff.